Hi there, it's Carl again here. Just want to do a video today on potting aces. Wasn't really happy with one I did before, so this is a kind of bit of a revisit really. So you may know that in one of my videos, my poor little Shayna, which is kind of in my ace hospital just around the corner there, didn't treat it with enough respect and it got damaged over the spring. Saw this in a garden centre actually, and just loved it. It's another Shayna. Really like the plant. It's small, it's interesting, and you know the new growth is lovely in red. So a bit naughty, said I wouldn't be spending any more, but these things happen. As you can see, it is a proper grafted plant, so happy to buy from wherever really. But this one's a little bit off centre in the pot, so I just wanted to sort of talk about what that looks like and how we can correct that. What I've got on the bucket over here is a mixture that's 50% eraceous compost. So when I started, I've no idea what that meant. It's just kind of acidic, basically. It's got a low pH value, so aces do like that. But they don't need it, but they just do a little better, we think, just with that. Well, that's my experience. Mixed with that, in a 50-50 ratio, there is some sort of mature plant compost, and that just gives it a bit more weight. So I've already had a mix up there and just distributed that round. So that's one sort of vital ingredient. I've got a nice plant there. Pot, reusing this one, it's ceramic, it's nothing special. As I think I may have said before, I'm happy with that. I think the interest is in the plants, not the pots really. So for me that's absolutely fine. And inside there's a piece of landscape fabric. So this is dirt cheap stuff. I know many videos say use broken pots or something to sort of put at the bottom, because definitely in the bottom here there's a drainage hole. So never a good idea to plant anything in a pot without a drainage hole. Aces like plenty of water, but they do not like being waterlogged like most plants. So the combination of that plus this on top, I find in my experience works really well. I think with broken crock, the water can run straight through that very easily. Sounds right, but here I think this will hold the water back slightly and just helps the compost absorb the water before it has a chance to run away too quickly really. And also using that mixture does work really well. Last ingredient really for the top is some mulch or bark. That's all mulch is really. Finding this time of year really helpful. It stops evaporation from the top of the soil, keeps the roots slightly protected. Though just a good tip to keep that away from the tree itself. Don't pile it up over that grafting point, because that's kind of a weak spot. So giving a little bit of room around the trunk can help. So initially, and it's going to be quite difficult doing this one-handed, but we do what we do. I'm just going to fill this pot up to a level to get the height correct. So size-wise, probably a little bit of a big jump in some respects for a plant of this size, but nonetheless I think that's perfectly okay. I mean, the way to sell, I think, is to sort of offer it up with a pot that you've got, or buy one so it looks sensible. There's no hard and fast rules, I don't think, really. But I do think that having the plant in a bigger pot with the extra moisture that's going to provide will give it some protection. So that's coming on nicely. I think a little more. What we're aiming for here really is to give it, confirm that down a little bit there. We're just aiming to have the existing compost land about, give ourselves a good inch on top really, and that's so that when we water, we've got enough space to actually fill it to the brim, let the water soak through, and that's very beneficial. So what I'm going to do now, because this is off centre, is readjust. So by pushing that very much to the one side and just looking around at all different angles, we can try and reach a situation where that trunk has been recentered. Probably needs to lean just a little more. So as we pot up, there's an opportunity just to literally straighten things out a little bit. Just try and rearrange things to give us a sort of twist things around a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect really, but I think if we can centralise the whole plant, that's kind of work. It's kind of helpful. That looks pretty good to me, and the various angles. So it's good to look around it. I think I might invest one day in a sort of turntable that sort of helps rotate. Perhaps might make things a bit easier. So essentially now what we're doing is leaving it in that situation so we don't lose that, and then taking some more of our compost and filling it around the side. So the idea of this method really is to ensure that we don't have to disturb the roots too much, which I kind of like, and therefore don't have to cause the plant too much disruption. I have seen other videos or information telling people to tease the roots out a bit and mix them in with the compost. But me personally, I think what works from my experience really is just to do things in this way. As you'll see shortly, that's what we can do. I'm just going to push that down a little bit and firm it up, just recheck we've got a nice level there. And that's straightening up quite nicely really. And that's a good start. So from there we can just carry on. Again, if you had to do several trees in one go, that's great. I do think having a great big bucket here to do the mixture in is really good. Also just trying to get it right at the corners there, fix things in place. Trees of course will grow and expand to occupy the space really, but I do find I enjoy this method. Poking it right round the back there to get the tree into a good position. I think we might just have enough to finish the job really. Obviously with two hands without holding a camera I can do this a little bit more easily. And there we go, I'll just firm that down a bit. I think we can leave that there really. As you see, there's a gap there, there's some room for some mulch on the top, and and that additional compost. I think I'll just tip this up 1 second. And there we go. So firming that down just a little bit. And what we can do now is a bit of a magic trick, I suppose, is pull the plant out. Easier with 2 hands than 1, but there we go. And keep the orientation the same. So I'm just moving it to the one side there. A little bit more difficult because we've got the recentering aspect to try and deal with. But basically we've got a sort of hole that's nicely off centre there. And I've already loosened this up, so it should come out quite nicely. And I'm now in a position, see some nice roots there. This is at a point, I think, where it will certainly value being repotted. Some nice roots there ready to expand into the new compost. So we'll offer that up. Popping back, I just need to excavate a bit more of this. So that the back side of it has sort of fallen down. That's okay, these things happen. Hopefully, on this second attempt, we've got a pretty decent situation there. And again, I can just sort of check and make sure things are looking level, which they are. I think I just need to put the extra bit of compost down the side. Now, I mean, I've picked almost like a difficult subject here, if you like, in order to do this. If you have an acer that's fully central, life's a lot easier. But as you can see now, I can just pack that a little bit down the side. And establish that and just firm it up a bit. Move some of the surplus around. And what we should have, I can tip it a little bit there, is a tree that's pretty level really. So there we have it. I've got that. I've just sort of pushed it into place a little bit gently and packed down the back there to sort of get it nice and central. But I think if you look at the plant and the shape in the pot, we're looking pretty good really. So the last activity now is a handful of mulch. Place that around there. Probably about 3 handfuls does this actually. Bit over there. Bit there. Thereabouts. Quite small handfuls. As I said at the beginning, if we can just keep it away from the central portion a little bit, so the graft on this is very high anyway, so it's not going to cause any problems. And there we go. So what we'll do then is fill that to the brim with water. Do that a couple of times. One thing I didn't mention, that the tree in the pot, I watered it first, because I find when you lift it out, it sort of, the compost sticks together better, so it doesn't fall apart so much. And there we have it. So there's my new Shana, already potted there, ready to enjoy. So as ever, many thanks for those of you who have subscribed. Many thanks for all the likes, and we'll see you soon in another video. Take care. Bye bye.